I come from a land, from a faraway place, where the caravan camels roam. Where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. When the wind's from the east, and the sun's from the west, and the sand in the glass is right, come on down, stop on by, hop a carpet and fly to another Arabian night. Arabian nights, like Arabian days, more often than not, are hotter than hot in a lot of good ways. Arabian nights, neath Arabian moons, a fool off his guard could fall and fall hard out there on the dunes.
Hey everyone, welcome to another two-tailed playthrough. It's November, so that means it's time for revenge. Up first in my month of revenge is Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. Aladdin was released back in 1993 by Capcom, and just hearing Capcom should already tell you that it's going to be a great game. Disney and Capcom had already teamed up to create several other great games for the NES, including DuckTales and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, so it's no surprise that they teamed up again for the release of Aladdin. The graphics for the game are amazing. They really used everything the SNES had to offer. The music is superb. The Super Nintendo sound chip really performs here, and Capcom does an amazing job bringing in the movie's music to the game. The gameplay is that perfect balance between too hard and too easy. It's easy enough to where you won't be pulling your hair out, yet hard enough to where it challenges you to get through it, especially if you want to collect all the red gems. I've played this game for Bonus Stage Marathon's Disney Marathon, and I actually played it pretty well. However, I wanted to play it again so I could show off a couple things that I couldn't show off during the marathon, as well as collect all the red gems. The game is of course based on the movie the same name, and does a really good job of sticking to the story. You play as Aladdin, of course, throughout the entire game, starting in the streets of Agrabah, and working your way all the way up to the final confrontation with Jafar. But I'm sure you all pretty much know the story, so let's get on with the show, shall we? They even went as far as to put the movie's intro in the game. They just don't make movie games like they used to anymore. Alright, here we are with Stage 1, Streets of Agrabah. The object, of course, is to make it to the end of the stage while dodging the palace guards and collecting gems and other goodies along the way. You can jump on enemies, grab on the posts, jump on pots, pretty much jump, grab, and flip off anything and everything in the game. In fact, my friends and I have dubbed this game the Game of Flips, since no matter what you jump off of, like that guy right there, Aladdin does a flip. There are 7 levels in the game, and each level is broken up into 3 stages, at which you'll fight a boss at the end of the 3rd stage. Each level also has 10 red gems to collect. The gems are divided up between each stage. I've collected 3 gems so far in this stage, and I'm going to try to show off where they all are. Some are pretty easy to find, where others are a little bit tricky. A few of the places they hide the gems are downright mean. There we have gem number 4. Another thing you can find hidden in the stages is the scarab. The scarab is generally hidden in 1 stage per level. When you break open the chest that's inside, it'll fly out and you only have a couple seconds to grab it before it flies off screen. If you're able to catch it, you'll go to this bonus game. The bonus game is Genie's Break Time. It's a chance game where you can win extra lives, continues, and even an increased life meter. Landing on a star will give you another continue. The 1-up and 2-up squares give you 1 and 2 extra lives. Land on the heart square and Genie will refill all your hearts, and finally land on the Genie square and Genie will grant you a wish, where if you don't have all hearts, you'll gain another heart, and if all your hearts are max and they're full, then Genie will give you a 3-up. This time I landed on the heart square, but since all my hearts were full, Genie gave me an extra life instead. Now we're on to stage 1-2. Geez, feels like Mario. Aside from being able to jump on every enemy he comes across, Aladdin also has apples he can throw which can stun enemies, thus allowing you to jump on them and take them out. The apples are especially useful against the archer enemies, which can shoot you before you have a chance to jump on them. The meter at the top shows how many apples you have, as well as your gem count. Gems work a lot like coins. When you collect 100 gems, you get an extra heart container. Green gems are worth 1 and red gems are worth 3, and as I said before, there are 10 red gems in each level, so collecting the red gems is an easy way to work towards getting another heart container. You can have up to 10 hearts total. Sometimes the bigger guards will throw barrels at you. The barrels are really easy to dodge, and you can even jump on them before they have a chance to throw them and take them out. If you dodge them, you get a pretty funny scene where the enemy gets all red and puffy before stomping his foot and charging at you. Stage 2 is pretty short, as you just saw. There are only 3 gems to collect total. Here we are at Stage 3. Things get a little tricky here, but it's nothing too difficult. Wow, look at that view. The final item Aladdin can get to help him on his journey is the sheet. You don't start with the sheet, you actually have to find it. It functions just like a parachute. Pressing R will deploy the sheet and will slow your fall dramatically, which is needed in some cases to make bigger jumps, as well as get some hard-to-reach red gems. Here we have our first tricky red gem. You have to stand on the middle platform and wait till it's going forward, then drop off and quickly grab onto the edge so you can swing into the red gem. If you miss, you'll wind up falling to your death. For the next gem, instead of sliding down the clothesline, jump off and deploy the chute about halfway down. The gem is too low to grab by swinging on the clothesline, so you have to jump from the top and float down in order to get it. Now, I know I said there are 3 stages in each level. This one is actually a quarter of a stage. Jumping through the first couple guards will lead you to a thing of apples, and then some health to refill before you fight the boss of the stage. Make sure you grab some apples for the boss. They're not needed, but it does make it go a little quicker. Here we have our first boss, the merchant who threatened to cut Jasmine's hand off for stealing an apple. Aladdin, of course, intervenes and saves her. Here we actually have to fight off the merchant instead of the 2 of them running off. The merchant is going to try and slash you with his sword. Wait for him to swing and then jump on his head when the sword is out of the way. Once you jump on him, he'll launch into a flurry of sword swipes. You can either wait it out on top of his stall, or throw an apple at him and he'll stop right away. Jump on his head 3 times and he'll be defeated and we can move on. Aladdin has saved Jasmine, and now the two of them run off to Aladdin's little hideout. At the end of each level, you'll get your password for starting at the beginning of the second level, as well as your count of red gems. You're then treated to more of the great story before the next level begins. Here we are in Stage 2, the Cave of Wonders. This is probably my favorite stage in the game. In this stage, there are many stalactites that hang from the ceiling. Most of the time, the tip of the stalactite will break off after you swing on it. To get this red gem, I had to hit the tip of the stalactite with an apple, so the tip would fall off and give me something to jump on. If you jump in the spikes, you'll take damage. Thankfully, they're not instant death. To get this next gem, you'll have to wait for the bat to come close, then jump on him. Jump off the bat and fly high enough to grab the gem. The chest you come to after that gem contains the scarab. The best way to catch him is to jump off the nearby bat and climb to the ledge above, then grab him as he flies by. You can then swing on the nearby stalactite to cross the gap and grab an extra life. The next few gems are pretty close together. When you see the gem below you, jump on the bat right above it to jump high enough to grab the gem above. Then let the ground crumble away and grab the gem below. Afterward, you'll need to use the first stalactite to reach the gem above, and then jump off the stalagmite to grab the second gem. You can then jump up to this little alcove here for 6 green gems. You want me to jump down, Abu? Is that what you're trying to say? Wonder what's down there. I'm going over here. Fine, I'll jump down. Wow, look at all this treasure. Too bad we can't touch any of it. Now here we have a skeleton that functions similar to a dry bones from Mario. You can jump on his head when the sword is out of the way, and he'll crumble to a pile of bones. Of course, he'll then rebuild himself shortly after and swipe at you again, so it's best to just ignore him. Continue to the right and you'll find the end of the stage, as well as your new friend Carpet. If you got the scarab in this level, you'll be treated to another break time. Hopefully I'll be able to show off each reward you can get, although it's not like I have any control over it. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, stop! Looks like this time I got a star. That's good for another continue. Always nice to have. The second stage has us riding on logs across the water. Being on the logs can make it a little tricky to get the first gem, but it's not too difficult overall. Jump on the second bat you see to fly high enough to grab the second gem, then carefully land back on the log so you don't drown. You have to be quick to get the second gem. Just before the river plunges, jump up and grab the stalactite. From there, you can turn yourself and swing out and grab the red gem. Afterwards, you can swing across both stalactites to this little alcove here where there's a piece of bread. Work your way back down to the logs where you'll find a gate-like stalactite. You actually have to climb onto the rope in order to get the stalactite to rise up. Once the stalactite is all the way up, drop back down onto your log and ride underneath it. If you want, you can climb up here to this little section and grab an extra life. If not, just continue on the logs. Make sure you duck down when you come to this part so you can get underneath the low-hanging stalactites. Then jump up and grab the rope to raise another stalactite. Once it's all the way up, just like before, drop down onto the log and ride underneath it. Once you reach this part of land, you're done with the log riding. Hey, that looks familiar. Just like the thing Abu touched in the movie. Make your way up the hill, being careful of the rocks that are coming down at you. Now here's the first of the gems they're really mean about. Wait for the rocks to pass through, then jump down this hole here. Float down to make sure you land on a log, then ride it along and grab the red gem. You wouldn't think you could fall down one of those pits, so of course you wouldn't think to look for a red gem there. You could also go down the big gap there and walk down the sort of stairs. If you ride the logs all the way over to the end, you can find another heart container. Once you get it, jump back on the logs and climb your way back up, working your way to the right. Once you reach the top, Aladdin will run to the lamp and you'll complete the stage. Now it's time to escape the Cave of Wonders. This level is the shortest level in the game with only 2 stages, and all 10 gems are in the first stage. This is also the only level in the game that auto-scrolls. Thankfully, most of the gems are pretty easy to find, like this first one here. Just jump up and grab it, and then grab the stalactite and swing over. For the second one, hang down off the little ledge here, and then jump to the nearby platforms. The third gem is above this floating stalagmite. Wait for it to rise up, then jump off the stalagmite to bounce off it and grab the gem. The fourth one you can grab just by walking to the edge of the little platform. This stage is also very heavily detailed. There's lava everywhere, the backgrounds are beautifully done, flowing pools of lava. The foregrounds have even more lava, and there's fiery boulders jumping out at you in every which way. They did a really good job on this part. Opening this chest will get you the scarab. To get him, just stand on the chest and wait for him to fly overhead, then jump up and grab him. Here we have the 5th red gem. Just walk off the edge and grab the gem as you grab a hold of the ledge. The next gem is a little tricky to get. You have to get a really good bounce off this rock here in order to get high enough to grab it. It can take a couple bounces, but once you get a good one, fly over and grab it. The next gem is right on top of a block, so it's pretty easy to grab. To get to the next gem, you can either wait for the stalagmite to be in position, or just jump and float through it. Chances are you'll land in the lava, but you can get out quickly and you only take 1 heart of damage. The next gem is waiting for you above a small platform. It's pretty easy to get. Finally, jump on this last floating stalagmite to grab the last gem, and then continue right and complete the stage. I always found it funny that Aladdin is standing there posing while everything is going to hell in a handbasket around him. It's like, yeah, I don't care that the world is ending and I'll be trapped in this cave. Look at me pose. Break time. Let's see what we get this time. We got a 1-up. Always nice to have. You can have a maximum of 9 lives, and we're already at 8. Pretty cool. For the next stage, you're flying on carpet as you're escaping the collapsing Cave of Wonders. Thankfully, there are no gems in this stage, as they were all in the first stage. This stage will require very quick reflexes or a really good memory to get through. It's easier to just memorize everything, although if you stay towards the middle of the stage, you'll have an easy enough time dodging the obstacles that come at you. When you reach this tunnel, you've made it to the halfway point. Do your best to stay ahead of the lava wave while the tunnel dips and turns. Once you reach the end of the tunnel, you'll fly out of this cave and complete the stage. I always had a hard time with that level as a kid. Not really sure why. This level of the game was not in the movie. My guess is it's the game's version of the "You Never Had a Friend Like Me" whole scene. Instead of showing Genie jumping around and dancing and being awesome like he is in the movie, they have him take Aladdin into the lamp where he shows off where he lives. I'm not sure. You're pretty much jumping on all kinds of Genie faces and flying potted birds, hanging from Genie rods. It's just one big... The whole area is just one big mishmash of craziness. But that's Genie, so I mean it makes sense. The gems in this level are fairly easy to find. Just keep your eyes open and you'll see them as you're passing through. There are a couple they put in annoying places. Thankfully there are none in this part, which I think is the toughest part of this level, where you're following behind Genie as he's creating platforms for you to jump on and make your way across. Sometimes it'll be a little cloud, other times it'll be a ring hanging from balloons that you have to jump from, and other times it'll be a playing card that acts like a spring. The latter two of course, are the more difficult ones to jump across. Hopefully you just saw that above this pole was a red gem, one of the more trickier places they put one in. Either grab it before you land on it, or jump up and grab it after you land on it. That of course make the jump and go across. The second stage of this level introduces the Genie Balloons. Genie Balloons are a lot of fun. You could either hang on them or jump on them, depending on what you want to do. Now here we have to jump from the Genie Balloons, being careful not to fly too high so we don't hit the spikes and take damage. Thankfully the spikes won't kill us, but unfortunately it's pretty tricky to grab onto a balloon after hitting the spikes, so you most likely fall into the pit and lose life. Now the Scarab, I find it's easiest to just wait on top of the chest and then jump up and grab the Scarab as it's coming back down, because every time you release one, it's always going to fly up, do a little loop, and then take off. So most of the time, if you just wait, you can grab the Scarab as it's coming around at the bottom of the loop. It's that time again. Break time. Spin the wheel. Ooh, got 2 up this time. Too bad I already have 8 lives. Look at that. Only halfway through the game and I already maxed out the life counter. Okay, time for the final level in Genie Land. This has the most bizarre opening I've ever seen. You're starting out on Genie's tongue, which is kind of creepy, but if you remember the movie, there are a couple scenes where Aladdin is running on his tongue, and I think at one point he even wraps Aladdin up in his tongue and spits him out. So that's where that comes from. Just make your way up, bouncing off the genie tongues, the floating birds, and even climbing up the platforms until you reach the top. It's not really that difficult, thankfully. Towards the top, we'll meet some genie springs, which, just like any normal spring, will propel you upward. So jump off them and work your way up to the top, jumping off the potted birds if need be. The genie boxes will smile and look at you when you jump on them, but if after sitting for a couple seconds they'll start to fall, so you need to quickly jump to the next box. Naturally, with falling boxes, they're going to throw a red gem in there. Grab the gem before the box falls completely, and then jump to the next one before you die. Now they're throwing in genie balloons as well. You can get really fancy here if you want to, jumping and swinging off the genie balloons, but then you have to go back to business and use the falling boxes. Here's where they get really evil. You can see the red gem behind the gem counter. You gotta get that one, ride this one down, and then quickly jump up here to this box and grab the gem. Then as soon as you grab it, deploy the sheet and quickly float back towards the edge. If you're fast enough, you'll just grab the edge before it falls out of reach and make it across. That's the most difficult gem to get in this stage. Once you do that, there is no boss for this stage, so you just go right on to the next one. Now this level I'm convinced they just threw it in to make the game longer. Now there is a scene when they escape the Cave of Wonders where they're riding away on carpet, Naboo is running around and he almost falls. But Aladdin grabs him and saves him from falling, and then they just carry on. So I don't know why they made it so he has to fall off and why in the hell Naboo decides to run into a stupid pyramid. But because of that, we're now faced with sand bats and all kinds of other crazy stuff as we make our way through this thing trying to find him. When you jump down and clonk that enemy on the head, you'll see the next red gem floating down in the gap below. So grab it and carry on. Here you see Naboo just run off in front of you, unfortunately you can't grab him, and free the scarab. The scarab is a little tricky to get because the roof is so low, but if you time it just right, Aladdin's head will clip through the ceiling and grab the scarab anyway. Then jump up on the swinging platform and climb your way up to the top here and jump across and get the red gem. Come back here, you stupid monkey, making me go through all this trouble. Alright, let's see what we get this time. Not much more we can get. Another one up. This game gives you an abundance of lives. Okay, stage 2. Yay, potted birds! The potted birds has to be the goofiest enemy in the game. I mean, it's a bird with its head stuck in a pot and is somehow still able to flop around. You'd think it would have figured out how to get that pot off by now. When you see this enemy down here, you're going to want to wait for his arrows to stop firing. You can't really hit him with an apple from this distance. Then jump down and hit him. The chest behind him contains another heart container, and below him, hidden in the gap, is a red gem. Thankfully, there's a crumbling platform below it, so you can jump down and grab it and then quickly jump back out. Another one up. Lives just keep adding up. Now for some more fun platforming. This time we're jumping on these cobra statue things. Hail Cobra! Use the cobra statues to jump your way across the spike pit below. And of course they throw a red gem towards the end. So just grab it as you're jumping on the platform and you should have no problem. This gem can be a little tricky because of its position. You gotta wait till the second statue gets at its lowest point and then try to jump out a little bit and grab it. Thankfully this stage is kinda short, so we can finally move on to the third stage and then get out of here. Last stage, you even see a Boo as you start out. Why in the heck is he running? This stage is set up to be a dungeon for some reason. It's got the chains with shackles hanging on them, floating up and down, as well as all kinds of spikes, and just not a nice place. And why are there guards here? What are they supposed to be protecting something? And is this one of the Sultan's secret pyramids? Did they serve the old pharaoh? So many questions. Okay, we're about to get the final red gem. This is really devious. Kill the sword thrower, and then walk behind this pillar. As you walk, you'll notice the sparkle. You can't see it, but they put the red gem at the bottom of that pillar. Talk about a jerk move. The boss for this stage is this walking pharaoh head thing. You can either throw apples at it, which do nothing, or jump on it to reveal a mesmerized monkey. Die, die, die. I throw apples at you. Die. Stupid monkey. Made me go through all this crap. Well, let's go. Okay, we rescued our furry stupid idiot, so now it's time to move on. We can finally get back to Agrabah and woo the damn princess. Yeah! Here we go. Time for the most famous scene from the movie, A Whole New World. Capcom did a hell of a job porting this over to the game. The backgrounds are beautiful, the music is spectacular, and it's just a really magical moment. Now they do put gems in here, and there are 10 red gems to find. They can be kind of tricky, so I'm going to show you the path. I'm not going to talk too much so you can enjoy this scene because the music is just great. And bonus stage done. Great bonus stage, one of the best I've ever played. Great graphics, great music, beautiful scene. Just get to sit back, relax, and take it easy for a few minutes. That's a bonus stage. Okay, time to infiltrate the palace. Right away there's a red gem above it, and we have to use the swords the sword thrower throws in order to jump up and grab it. We're gonna have to get a couple more red gems that way in the future, so get used to jumping off those swords. I find it's easiest to get this gem by waiting for the farther platform to go down, then jumping down and grabbing it and floating to the platform. It can be a little tricky, but it is doable. Here we go again. Wait for the sword thrower to throw his sword, jump off it, and grab the gem. Then take him out and move on. Now it's time for these things. Just what are they? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Whatever they are, jump on them when they get low to proceed onward. Then jump out and grab a hold of this pole, and you'll have to reposition yourself, but you can jump up and grab the red gem with it. Or you could ride the thing back up and jump off and grab it when it's at its highest point. And there's another extra life. If you get the extra life, you're most likely going to get hit, but it's only 1 heart of damage. Then you'll have to jump back out to this pole and swing back in order to get on top of the thing again. Stage 2. Now you want to proceed slowly. You see the red gem above us, but in order to get that, we actually have to wait and let Iago come out. If you move too quick, Iago will drop the skull and take off. So you gotta carefully lure him over so you can jump off him and grab the red gem. Now it's time for some of the toughest red gems to get. You have to let the sword guy throw his swords out. Then after you bounce off them, use the sheath to slow your descent enough so he starts throwing the swords upward. Then float over him, don't kill him, and do the same thing on the other side. They put 2 gems at the very top on each side. Really annoying to get. Archers on stairs. Never fails. An easy way to get rid of them is throw an apple at him, then swing on the lanterns above them. The lantern will fall after you swing on it, falling down and burning the guy below you. It's kind of funny. Here we have the last scarab of the game. Grab him if you want to, then proceed onward. And that's 2. Short stage with some really annoying red gems. Break time! Hey wow, I got Genie's wish finally. Now if I wasn't completely maxed out, Genie would refill my hearts and give me another heart container. But since I have all my hearts, Genie gives me 3 ups. But again, my life counter is maxed, so the 3 ups do absolutely nothing. Yay. Okay, one more time. Watch out for the archer, stupid Iago, the other archer, and then finally the big guy after this dumb Iago. Now this time we have a pit of fire below us. Of course we're going to have to ride across these little platforms and make our way across. But in the first pit, wait for the fire to go all the way down and it'll reveal a red gem at the bottom. Quickly jump down and then jump back out before the fire gets you, otherwise you'll get roasted. Now the fire can't kill you in one shot, but if you do fall into the fire and can't get out in time, you will eventually lose all your life and die. Not hit by hit, you'll just lose everything like you fell in a pit. But it takes a few seconds for that. Thankfully, that's the only part that has a gem in the fire. The rest of the time, you can just get through it as quick as you can. Now here you have to jump up and grab the ring so you can change the switch track on this little track here. That will allow the platform to move and go the right way so you can get across. You can also just jump and float across if you still have the sheet. Here, however, you do have to change the track because it's too far to jump and glide. When you get to this platform, don't jump down, but get a running start and jump as far as you can. You gotta jump out and float to grab the last red gem in the game. Then grab the chest for a piece of bread if you need it, and head on to fight the boss. Here we go, the showdown with Jafar. Jafar is overall pretty easy. His main forms of attack are throwing his snake staff into the ground, which will then shoot out lightning at you. Once you jump over it, you can jump off the snake staff and land on Jafar as he's swooping down. That will of course get him mad and he'll retaliate by shooting lightning at you. The lightning is easy to dodge, just stand in the ear of the cobra and wait for him to stop casting it. His only other means of attack are throwing potted birds at you, which you can use to jump off and jump on his head. Other times, he'll just swoop at you. He swoops a little too high for you to get a clean jump on him, so jump into him and then fall backwards and you'll land on him. Then just dodge the lightning again and keep going. It'll take 6 hits to take Jafar down. Once you defeat Jafar, Aladdin will run off and it's time for the final stage of the game. You're given a chicken for full health if you need it, so get it if you need it, then head on to face Jafar for the final showdown. Jafar turns himself into a giant cobra, which may seem menacing, but it's actually much easier than his first form. Jafar will spit eggs at you, which you can jump off of and land on his head and do damage. He'll also charge you in an attempt to bite you and do damage. Just stand back and he won't be able to reach you and you can easily jump on his head. After that, he likes to start waving his tail pretty high, which gives you enough room to jump up and hit him in the head. Just take your time and you'll find this is actually a really easy battle. When his tail starts moving higher and higher, you're going to have to jump before it dips into the fire so you don't get hurt. Then just ride it back up and jump on his head. After that, he usually likes to throw eggs at you, so just jump off the egg and hit him. After about 6 or 7 hits, he'll go down and you'll have beaten the game. Just sit back and enjoy the ending. Phenomenal cosmic powers! Itty bitty living space. and that's Aladdin on the Super Nintendo. A really fun platformer, not too long, not too short, just the right mix of length and difficulty. Now this part I think they did it backwards. If you get 50 more red gems, you get the credits roll you're seeing now. You get to see Aladdin running and jumping through the stages, collecting gems, doing all that fun stuff. I think I got this ending when I played the game for bonus stage marathons, but I can't really remember. I wanted to show it to you anyway. This is the other difference in the endings. You get your gem total regardless, but if you have 50 or more, you get a little message that says you are a super player. Nothing serious, but it's a nice little praise regardless. And the game ends with a great view of the palace. The screen opens up and it shows all the surroundings around it and Agrabah. Really pretty place. After a couple seconds you get the end, and you're all done. But we're not done yet. I'm going to show you the other ending that I think should have been the one you get for getting all the gems. Now here's the ending you get when you get less than 50 gems. It's Aladdin and Jasmine flying on the carpet and a whole new world is playing in the background. I don't know why they didn't use this as the extra ending. I find this much better than just Aladdin running through the stages, jumping around like an idiot like you did when you played the game. But then again, this way you get to see it without having to do too much work. So maybe that's why they did it. Once again, you get your gem total. Here I don't have any gems. Gotta love passwords. Then instead of the palace in Agrabah, they fly off into the night and you get to see a beautiful night sky with the clouds below it and the end in the clouds. And there you have it. Aladdin on the Super Nintendo. Fantastic game. Even better movie. I really recommend going out and seeing it if you haven't already. It's on DVD right now. Pretty sure you can still get it on DVD. And I think they'll be releasing a Blu-ray set if they haven't already. I know this video is a little late. It's a little over a week late. That was because of our marathon we just had this past weekend. Bonus Stage Marathons did a 73-hour Castlevania marathon. Turned out to be 73 hours due to setting the clocks back again. I want to thank everybody who came out and watched us, those who donated. It was such a great time. We had a really good time doing it. I mean, good friends, good music. It was just awesome. I hope everybody enjoyed it that showed up. Lion King will be going up probably tomorrow or the next day at the latest. It will be up this week, and then next week I'll be releasing Toy Story, and then after that, the one everyone's been waiting for, Dragon Quest II. So be ready. And that brings to an end another two-tailed playthrough. Thank you all so much for watching. See you, Space Cowboy.